Hello everyone, I'm Tube Knight, or also known as Namad on Discord. I've decided to start a channel, and no, I totally did not have videos listed here before. You're imagining things. Anyways, I thought I'd do content on the Ubers UU tier, as I believe there's not enough of that for how good of a tier Ubers UU is. And since I'm currently in the LLL Draft League, I thought I'd do a bit of that to start out the channel. So first off, what is the LLL? The Little Legends League is a draft league based on the Ubers UU tier. This means that while some other draft leagues might have Pokemon like Magearna and Mewtwo banned, they're legal in this draft league, and they're very good. This draft league has a low-tier Terra Captain system, where only Pokemon with 12 points or less are able to Terra into any of 3 types, that you decide, one of which has to be a type that the Pokemon already is. After losing the playoffs in the first season due to some admittedly poor choices, I'm back again with a new draft, although that doesn't mean I haven't kept some Mons, and I hope to make it all the way to the end this time. By the way, I'm new to YouTube, so any feedback would be appreciated. Without further ado, let's get into what Mons I selected to be a part of the Light Lusting Legends. So, here's the team. You get to pick 10 to 11 Pokemon. I chose 11, because I like having more options. And the first Pokemon was Necrozma Dawnwings. So, Necrozma is the team's mascot, and it's got lots of great stats. 97, 109, 127 bulk, and reliable recovery in morning sun and also moonlight means that it'll be able to take lots of neutral hits really well and heal off damage. Necrozma also has really strong offenses with 157 special attack and access to powerful stab moves in Moongeist Beam and Photon Geyser, which are both 100 base power and ignore the target's abilities. Necrozma is also able to set up with moves like Calm Mind, Iron Defense, and even maybe Dragon Dance to boost speed, although Trick Room is also an option to get a speed advantage. Furthermore, to take advantage of these boosts, it can also use Stab Stored Power, which can become very powerful. However, it does have a few problems. First off, Psychic Ghost means that you have a 4 times weakness to Dark, and Necrozma doesn't have any super effective moves against Dark types except for X-Scissor and Brick Break, which, well, Necrozma's a 113 attack isn't terrible, it's not that good, and especially with low base power moves like Brick Break and X-Scissor. Necrozma also really struggles with this weakness because it's not fast with only base 77 speed, so it can generally get hit before it can actually hit an opposing Dark type. The next Pokemon I chose was Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is another bulky special attacker. With 137 special attack and the powerful offensive stab combo of Dragon and Electric, it's able to hit most Pokemon for a lot of neutral damage. Raging Bolt can use Calm Mind to boost its special attack further, and Booster Energy will provide a boost to one of Raging Bolt's stats on switch-in. Most of the time this will be special attack, but Bolt can be easy to have its photosynthesis boost other stats. The biggest thing though is its access to Thunderclap, a special electric type clone of Sucker Punch that alleviates Raging Bolt's bad speed stat of only 75. Volt Switch is also another useful move that can be used to keep up momentum, and with Raging Bolt's bulk and bad speed, it can serve as a good slow pivot. Draco Meteor and Thunderbolt act as good stab moves. The third pick was Tornadus Therian. Regenerator is an amazing ability, and Tornadus can use it well. Its high speed and U-turn allows it to heal up easily and quickly by constantly coming in and getting out. This makes it very difficult to take down if you can't knock it out in one hit. 121 base speed is phenomenal, and while 110 and 100 in the offensive stats may not seem that amazing, it can use Nasty Plot to boost its special attack by 2 stages, which is quite a bit, and Bleak Wind Storm is also nice for some good flying stab, although it is somewhat inaccurate. It also has decent coverage options like Heat Wave, Focus Blast, and Grass Knot, for example. It can also use its typing well to support Raging Bolt. That would be ground weak, but Tornadus Therian can constantly come in and be immune to those. And Raging Bolt is a quad resist to the electric type moves that Tornadus Therian is weak to. So the fourth Pokemon is Cobalion. And Cobalion is also my Terra Captain as it costs 12 points, and I thought it would be worth making it able to Terra. I chose the Terra types of Fighting, Ghost, and Fairy. Overall, Cobalion can do a lot, but the main reason I chose to pick it is its ability Justified. This ability raises Cobalion's attack by 1 stage if hit by a dark move. This means that Cobalion is one of the only ways to consistently punish knockoff, one of the most spammable moves in the entire game, and a move that will probably be aimed at my Necrozma, which would take a lot of damage if not just dying to it. Cobalion is also great at punishing the dark types that might want to wall Necrozma, as it has close combat and body presses that can super effectively threaten those dark types. Cobalion's 91 HP and 129 defense are very good physically bulky, and while 72 defense isn't that great, you can use Calm Mind to increase it. 108 speed is also very good. However, that's not all Cobalion can do. Cobalion is very versatile, able to run sets like Choice Band, Choice Scarf, Choice Specs. It can run Sword Stance, Iron Defense, Body Press, or even Calm Mind to boost any of its offensive stats, and it can just pick and choose what it wants to do in pretty much any matchup. You can also be more defensive with moves like Volt Switch, Stealth Rock, and Taunt, with a nice body press to be a great physical wall and utility Pokemon. My fifth pick was Incineroar. No, it's not VGC draft, but Incineroar still has value. A Dark type is great in draft to be able to take Ghost type moves and be immune to stored power sweeper. With Intimidate, Will-O-Wisp, and Parting Shot, it's great at cutting the damage output of physical attacks. And it can pivot well with its slow speed and good bulk, especially when you factor in Intimidate. Knockoff and Flare Blitz are also great offensive options, and with a base 115 attack, they do decent damage, especially for a defensive Pokemon. Originally, my sixth pick was Gengar, but I traded away in favor of Petrarant, which has the same typing. So let's cover this guy instead. 88's on every stat except defense, with a massive 160, really makes it cut out for one roll. Physical wall. With Incineroar being able to easily pivot in and out and cutting damage, Petrarant can excel in that role even better. 3 out of 4 of Petrarant's weaknesses are resisted by Incineroar, which is great synergy too. You can also use Recover to stay healthy, and Parting Shot to get in and get out whenever it needs to. Poison Puppeteer is also a very funny ability that can really get some shenanigans. It confuses the target if it's poisoned, which Petrarant can do very well with its signature move Malignant Chain, which does good damage as well as having a 50% chance to toxic an opponent, or just straight up use Toxic. I'm not sure how much the confusion will actually be useful, but it's nice to have it there. Nasty Plot, Foul Play, and Hex are also good moves that I thought were worth mentioning. Next on the list we have Swampert. A bulky water type and a good ground type are both amazing to have in draft, and Swampert accomplishes both. It can output decent damage, and Flip Turn allows it to serve as a good pivot. Swampert can also remove items with Knockoff. It can also set rocks. It can phase out opponents with the Roar to be good into setup sweepers, and it can even boost its own stats with Bulk Up. Wow, another pivot. Wow, another legendary. This is so original. The next pick is Ogerpon's Steel Mask form. It finishes a Fire Water Grass trio with Swampert and Incineroar, and adds valuable utility with Spikes. However, unlike Incineroar and Swampert, who are more defensively oriented, Ogerpon is a damage dealer. With 120 attack and 110 speed, its stats are good enough for offense. Ivy Cudgel is a really nice stab option with no drawbacks and good base power, and it can use moves like Play Rough, Superpower, Knockoff, and Stop Tantrum as coverage, with Sword Dance to further increase the damage these moves deal. Defiant works well as it can disincentivize Defog, and Necrozma, Dawnwings, and Petrarant can block Rapid Spin very well, allowing me to keep hazards up or at least punish an opponent for trying to remove them. It can also fulfill a disruptive role with the Subseed combo, Encore, and Taunt, as well as Synthesis to stay healthy. Fortress is a one mon that I had on my Season 1 rep that I also have on this draft. This is because I loved using it. It's basically a Swiss Army knife of utility. It's got 3 different forms of hazards, and has the ability to remove them. It can slow down other Pokemon with Thunder Wave, and it can even use its slow speed to be a slow pivot out with Volt. It's basically a mini Magearna and only has one weakness to fire. And you know what resists fire? Swampert. And Swampert's only weakness is grass, which Fortress covers well. 140 physical bulk makes it really good on the defensive side, and it can even take advantage of this bulk offensively through body press. Sturdy is a great ability because it opens the doors to do some really funny stuff with an item like the Cuss Tap Berry, and a combination of Explosion or maybe even Pain Split to recover some HP and stick around. This Pokemon does all this for only 8 points, by the way, so I think it was really worth getting. You need to have a minimum of 2 Terra Captains in this draft league, so Alcremie is the next one. I don't have a Fairy type yet, so getting one is very good. Alcremie isn't quite as versatile as Gobalion, but I do still think that it's got some good uses. The first role it can fill is a Special Wall. Recover and 121 Special Defense makes it hard to take down, especially when it can't be prevented from using Recover because of its Aroma Veil ability. Alluring Voice and Encore both can also stop Pokemon trying to beat it through setup or using Substitute by punishing them for trying it. The second set that it can run is a Setup Sweep. Acid Armor and Calm Mind mean it can boost its defenses and also a bit of its offenses as well. Draining Kiss and Recover can keep it healthy, while the aforementioned Aroma Veil also lets Alcremie set up without fear of Encore or Taunt or Disable, and it can wreak havoc once set up with stored power. The Terra types I chose for Alcremie are Fairy, Fire, and Water. Fire and Water were chosen as their good defensive typings and should help Alcremie's defensive matchups and let it set up more easily. At this point, I had a few points left over, and so I chose to go with Cacturne. Then, before ever using it, I removed it and chose Vikavolt instead. Vikavolt sets webs and dies. That's quite literally all it does. Ogerpon's Defiant and Petrant and Necrozma Dawnwing's Ghost typing make my team pretty good at keeping up hazards, so if I ever need my opponent to slow down, I can use some sticky webs from Vikavolt. So, that was the draft. I do think this draft is pretty strong. I have some high hopes for the Pokemon on this draft. And, yeah. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and like and notification bell. But you don't really have to, I guess. Whatever you want. Bye.